Innovation is in our veins. Soon the whole world will know our names. Sharing our knowledge and freedom reign. We here for the people, you know it's our way. Setting foundations is part of the dream. It doesn't matter if you're new to the game. Listen up now, cause we all gon' say, elevate, 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 higher, elevate, 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 higher. We gon' rise up, we all gon' shine. Work through adversity, stay on the grind. Elevate, elevate, this is our time. Elevate, elevate.
Welcome to the Elevate Podcast, everyone. It's so great to have you all on one more time. It's your boy Josh
Dalton,
and we're grateful to be back on with you yet again. We got some breaking news for y'all, but before that, make sure you like, you subscribe. We all kinds of crap going down. We are in it tonight.
Dude, that was a great intro, man.
Here for it.
Dude, you're just like you're on PCP or something. You're like
Dude,
going crazy.
I'm on one now. We had a little bit of sunlight that was ended early by the snow, but
snowstorm.
But I'm still living high on that vitamin D, sucker.
Dude, I got blood work done the other day, and I naturally have zero vitamin D in my system.
Wow.
The doctor was like, you should take like 2 a day.
I can tell.
Like, oh, that's ill. I'm gonna kill you. Do I look that depressed?
Oh shoot, that's wild though.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So take your vitamin D. Apparently, if you live in North America, that's a real thing. So stay healthy, y'all. But I see what you've got up on your phone here. And dude, I can't stop looking at Trump's big old head on your phone.
They just announced that Trump's indictment marks a historic reckoning. A Manhattan grand jury has issued the first ever indictment of a former U.S. president.
He's indicted.
Officially.
So now they're going to go, is there a warrant now? Is that what that means?
Yep. You're going to go try and round him up.
What if he's not in the country right now? Do you think he's that smart?
I'm curious. I think,
like, how do you arrest a president?
If I'm smart, if I'm Trump, I make sure I call my homies up. You bring all the cameras over to my house, and you film every bit of them taking me out in cuffs. Because that's going to be my campaign information for the.
I wonder if Trump ever thought he'd be arrested.
That's a good question.
Or arrested after being president. Like, did he ever think he'd be president? I wonder.
That's a good question.
I cannot believe it. So that's the first president ever to be arrested. Is that what that means?
Yep.
Wow.
Or at least have an indictment against him.
Yeah, right. Like, at least attempt to be arrested.
Yeah.
Jeez. This is like the first time we've ever got breaking news on the show.
Yep.
Every time it's when we're on the drive home.
Yep. We totally
right when we're done. So this is a win for us, man. Yeah, we can turn the show off now. Yeah. This is the Thursday episode.
This is why we keep the notifications on right here. Yeah. Especially don't. But it's pretty nuts. I'm curious what's going to go on first with this. Not a huge fan of it as the country in America, as well as it permeates up here in Canada. Just this continues to grow the division. And now that it's on the table, now you can arrest former presidents. You best know that as soon as Joe Biden's done, they're going to go after him.
Yeah. And, you know, I hope it does trickle into Canada because I think there's a prime minister here who should have a conversation with the law. Dude, there was a phone call recording released today regarding the SNC Lavalin stuff. Did you see that?
No.
Okay. I'm going to take a look here and see if I can send it by email. And because we don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. But let me get here. What's wrong?
Was that the government tapping into us?
Dude, that literally is. Yeah, so basically there was a phone call between, what would you say, like, I can't remember her name. Anyway, I'll send it after the show because I don't want to take up too much time on the air. We can just include it if we want after the fact. It doesn't have to be part of the show. But it is basically Trudeau's advisor speaking with the like you call it the senator. Is that what it is in Canada? Or like MP, I guess is the name.
Of what?
So it was during the SNC Lavalin stuff. I should have saved it, but basically...
Ethics commissioner?
Yes, that's right. That's the word there. And he was basically putting pressure on her to listen to what Trudeau was saying because he was going to hire, again, like with this Chinese stuff, his own rapporteur or his own counsel for advice, and that he would force this person to give her advice so that way they came to the same conclusion. And she's on the phone call saying, I don't feel comfortable with this conversation. What you're saying, you know, is you're putting political pressure on me, things like that. And it just was interesting to see something about SNC Lavalin today when I'm like, That's coming back now with now voice phone call recordings, and you've got all this Chinese meddling stuff, and you've got election interference, and you've got, Joe Biden in Canadian Parliament slipping up and saying China, and I go, what were they talking about before that China was so in his memory? I'm like, they're obviously talking about it. Like Trudeau knows it's going on, right? And so it just makes you think, like, what is this prime minister up to? Like, it's got to just be at this point about, it has to be about control. It cannot be about what's good for us.
No.
It can't be.
I mean, like we'll go back to the IQE stuff, right?
Oh,
yeah. I
yeah.
did some follow-up on that.
Yeah, okay.
And
this was the website where all those videos were for the Chinese New Year, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like we ended up, pretty much everything we said in the air was pretty spot on.
Okay.
They are a privately owned company that has, but the Chinese government has a significant influence over what appears on the platform.
Fair.
And so that's kind of where,
which is not abnormal in China. There's plenty of private corporations that are influenced, I'd say.
kind of how it works there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if the government comes in over there and just wants to take some of your profit, they can do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's kind of what IQE is. And so it is completely and utterly a propaganda machine for China. And it is a media platform that can be accessed by Chinese citizens abroad in other countries. And our Canadian Parliament members decided to appear on it.
Yeah. Decided to do their content creators now.
Yeah, it still throws me off when Trudeau comes on screen and starts spicing up some Mandarin. And I was like, cool. That's
I know.
weird.
It was weird. It was weird. So you say IQI clarity was, so we pretty much got everything correct about it because we're kind of going on the fly there at that time. So, yeah, man, I don't know what business they had on that website.
And we'll get into it all, like, because we will be talking today about our Canadian budget that came out.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Which was interesting. And then from there, that's just going to go into descend into what is permeating throughout international politics and what that means for us at home, what that means abroad, and what you can do at home to try to deal with it as it comes.
Yeah.
So we'll get into it.
Let's do it.
So first off, TikTok knows what I want.
Okay.
True. You know the Bad Friends podcast? You're a fan of those guys.
Yeah.
So they popped up my TikTok.
Okay.
Reacting to a video that I couldn't believe was real.
Okay.
It's an older video, and so it trended for a bit. I missed the trend, so those who have heard it before, you can laugh again.
Okay.
And to those who haven't, well, buckle up.
Okay.
Listen to this.
Okay.
I shut my Murphy bed, sat down to scratch my head. What could this day bring?
This is a woman
It could be
out of
anything.
California
I get the
selling
phone
Murphy
call.
beds.
I gotta help them all.
And listen to her voice
Girl will
change
save the day.
coming up.
Child will not get away. It didn't take me long to find the ticking bomb. He took off in my Jeep. That Chow is such a creep. I gotta find a way to take down Chow one day. He pulled a ninja move. It got me.
It's about to get racist, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You know what? Maybe I too could be ninja. I want to be ninja. I want to be ninja. I want to chop chow down, take chow down to Chinatown. I want to be ninja.
So that's that. That was interesting.
Was this live? Because she's doing it in front of an Asian woman.
Yeah, that's the best part is being able to zoom in on this woman's face throughout this. If we jump to, I think it was a minute 40, whatever said in the notes. That's where, right there. It just watch.
Is it like a Jim Halpert zoom in from like The Office kind of thing?
Sort of.
Okay.
Wait for it.
I do karate moves with a go-go move. I learn my ninja kicks while watching Netflix. I try to everything like on the big screen. And you guys, you know what? I might do it. I might be a ninja soon. I gonna be ninja. I gonna be ninja. I gonna chop chow down, take chow down to Chinatown. I gonna be ninja. I practice.
Why did she do it in her face?
So she goes up to this Asian woman, the only Asian person there, goes up in her face.
Mind you, the only one in the room not laughing also.
Down, and go down to Chinatown. Like, what?
This was a marketing commercial for Murphy Beds.
Yep. No, it wasn't a commercial. It was like she was having kind of like a launch party for these Murphy beds.
Oh, she's selling.
Yeah, she's the seller for it. She's the person selling it. And she had all these people over.
This is like before people started making like beauty brands. They were making Murphy Beds.
Yeah. This was just in 2020.
No.
2021. Yeah, this was 2 years ago. She released this.
Oh, no. It's recent?
Oh, it's very recent. And
Not that it makes it much better.
it just keeps getting worse. Like it popped so much. Obviously, she has close to 2 million views on this thing. And she's gone on to create a whole movie about it. She's created a music video off this thing. And I watched an 8-minute video of her last night talking about how she made the song. And she was dead serious, thinking it was the best thing ever. I was like, wow. This girl, I mean, I wish I could have her confidence. Wild. Going right into an Asian person's face and saying they're going to chop chow down in Chinatown.
And like did karate chops in her face, dude. And she's just there, straight face. She looks like she hates her life.
She looked miserable.
Yeah, rightly so.
I was like, what?
Dude, I hope she sold a ton of Murphy Beds. Because she's never going to be employed again. So hopefully her business takes off.
I think the wild part is I came across a video where she was welcomed onto some type of Chinese award show to sing that song.
Oh, they love her. Oh, she's like an icon?
She's an icon, apparently.
Oh.
The best part about this song is ninjas are not Chinese. They're Japanese.
Yeah, and
See,
she
that's
said
amazing.
Chinatown.
Yeah. She said right in Chinatown, dog.
Nice.
And the thing I got to give credit to her for is she never turned off the comments on this video.
Oh, she's got conviction.
Oh, yeah.
She's also released a mobile game. It said it right there in the
Is that what
comments.
it said?
Yeah.
Love it. Oh,
Yeah. I Want to Be Ninja, game now released on Google Play, Apple iPhone coming soon. A genius like this comes along maybe once and twice in a generation.
Dope comment.
I love how her singing was completely normal until she said ninja. Take a moment to thank the cameraman for keeping the only Asian person in the room in frame during 98% of the video. What is going on?
This literally made my night. I came across this because watching, I forgot his name, but the white guy in Old Bad Friends introduced it to Bobby Lee. Hilarious.
Oh, I love Bobby Lee. He's so funny. I mean, we talked about him last episode. He's comical.
Dude, actually, because I'm really interested, let's just pop up the first 3 minutes of Bad Friends.
Let's do it.
I want to be ninja. ninja.
One of the comments said she really got in that Asian's face and spit a whole bar.
Friends.
Let me play this for you. Let me tell you.
What is this white lady
this
doing?
is a throwback. I posted again because timing wise, it's pretty great.
Let me
But
see. Who is this lady, though?
You know what? Maybe I too could be ninja. I want to be ninja. I want to be ninja. I want to chop, 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 chow down. Take chow down to Chinatown. I want to be ninja. I started training hard. I think I could go far. I am a natural. That's matter factual. I learned to chop real hard. I fight with credit card. I use my nunchucks even while feeding ducks. I throw my ninja star. Also very far.
Will you stop it?
look at this Asian lady in the very front.
First of all,
This video came out a long time ago, but I saw it again. I was deleting stuff.
I want to let you
Let's
know.
just hear the chorus again.
Oh, no, please don't turn. It's gonna put me in a worse.
Karate moves with a go-girl groove. I learn by ninja kicks while watching Netflix. I try to everything like on the big screen. And you guys, you know what?
What?
I might do it. I might be a ninja soon. I gonna be ninja.
This Asian lady, how is she standing there through this? There's 4 minutes of this.
All right. First of all, if I was that Asian,
I gonna be ninja.
turn it off. Turn it off.
Okay, it's off.
All right. If I was that Asian lady, I'd
I
order.
gonna chop, chop, chop chow down, take chow down to Chinatown. I gonna be ninja.
It makes me
It's
so
like the
angry.
rudest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
I was going through my folders on my phone.
Because she doesn't realize how difficult
It's so rude.
how difficult it is to be a ninja.
You cannot offend him.
No, you cannot.
Even though that should have.
You had every right to be offended.
Really
to
should
that.
have. Wow, man. Yeah. What's her name? Go Girl? Is that her name? Someone Murphy Go Girl.
Oh, Jennifer Murphy, I think it was.
Jennifer Murphy Go Girl is her YouTube channel. So
You can be one of the 1.9 million viewers.
9 million people.
So enjoy that, and I hope you were able to get a laugh this morning or whenever you're listening to this, because this the rest of this episode is about to get a little sad. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 2021. Oh, 21? No, I was right. Let's go.
Huh.
So she did that.
She did that recently.
Did that post BLM riots, post George Floyd.
Yeah, she did that at a time where everyone knows it's wrong now to be racist. Like, if you didn't already know, you know. And then she just came out and dropped this. She just dropped, her hot #1 single.
100%.
Yeah.
And everyone loves it, apparently.
I'm going to follow her on Spotify. Yeah.
Dude, let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I will, real recognizes real,
True. Elevate Podcast bumps Jennifer Murphy selling her Murphy beds.
Dude, what? It reminds me, there's this commercial for this man who owns a mattress store, and he goes through, sings a song to promote a store, and he sings it as every ethnicity under the sun. Like, he just every ethnicity, he dresses up like them, he tries to talk like them to promote his. But it was from 2005.
Okay, yeah.
Which I love that that's our reaction. I'm like, oh yeah, everyone was racist. It was cool. It was hip to be racist in 2005. But 2021?
I mean, I honestly give her credit for being that gutty.
Okay, let's see. If you're trying to find it, search racist mattress advertisement maybe. I think that's let's see.
Bobby Mom?
Dude, I can't even say it. This guy. Gary's mattress commercial. This is even worse than the other.
I'm Gary at the one and only Gary's Mattress. Now with locations in Koreatown and Little Tokyo. We are karate chopping up prices. I just for you. Even we would buy it. At Gary's Mattress, we're blowing up prices.
Oh my gosh.
Man on horse, bring good. For treatment at Gary's Mattress, I'd be very surprised. We're scalping prices. If you find a mattress at a better price, I'll kick a puppy and punch a kitten just for you.
That man really
in
offended.
Van Nuys, California.
He went after every group under the sun. Even the pet owners. The pet lovers.
He even went after the dogs and cats. Yeah, man. Van Nuys, California is a real business.
Wild.
It's like Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage. Do you remember that Vine?
I feel
Do
like
you? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah.
These commercials were so unhinged.
Dude. Those are the good old days, weren't they?
It's like this. It's like this. Yeah, Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage. There it is, man. There he is.
Oh, gosh.
Someone made a trap remix.
Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage.
Right.
Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage. Better come down here, get some of this shit. You like to eat. America loves to
These tickle a part of my brain because it's I was a kid, so these remind me of having no responsibilities, and I'm just such simpler times. 13 years ago, man. This is what people were putting on YouTube 13 years ago.
It's already been 13 years. 2010.
Dude, do you want to know there was some jarring statistic the other day. Friday by Rebecca Black came out 12 years ago. I was in grade 6.
I'm going to depart now.
Grade 6, brother. I wasn't even in junior high.
You were in grade 6 when that came out?
Yeah.
Gee.
What were you graduating university?
No, I was first year university at that point. Holy smokes. Dang.
12 years ago, dog.
Wow.
That is insane.
That is insane.
Everyone was still better than Unholy by Sam Smith.
Holy smokes. Well, on that note, let's talk about our Canadian budget.
Yeah, this was, you know what? This is a lighthearted intro. If the rest of the episode's depressing, just replay the first, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Just keep replay. That was 20 minutes, man.
Well, and see how you can chop down some of those prices in Chinatown, So, yeah, so we have the overview of the budget that just released. And honestly, this thing is absolute hot garbage on fire.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're poor middle class right now, you're staying there. Because this does nothing for you. They're like, oh, you want some money for groceries? Maybe. Only if you're poor enough. Like, that's what they're saying, man. I don't make the rules. Trudeau does. We're just following them.
Yeah, shout out Christopher Freeland on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like, I mean, we have like a whole, you can go like just kind of keep scrolling and getting kind of an overview of what this all has. You can go to the website. That's what we're looking at right now and go through each aspect. But every time I opened up one of these sections, I just wasn't seeing, it was a lot of, I mean, I know it's just a report, but there just really wasn't a lot of like concrete things that I can really like, oh, okay, we're going to do that. That's awesome. The real numbers I saw was, what was it? $2.45 billion going to Ukraine yet again.
Dude, if that doesn't make anyone listening sick to their stomach, I don't know. I don't know what else will. We cannot afford groceries. There are too many numbers here that say billion. There was not one line item in this report that said million. $33.5 billion for investing in public transit, green infrastructure, community culture, recreation infrastructure, rural and northern communities, all of which I think are wildly important. But we cannot afford groceries. Like, what? $8 billion for net zero accelerator to make large scale investments in clean technologies. But I guess we'll starve.
Yeah.
$3.8 billion for critical mineral strategies, which will help make Canada a global supplier of choice for critical minerals that are the bedrock of clean and digital technologies. But no one can pay rent. No one can afford to buy a home.
And there's no checks or balances for where this money is actually going, who's going to get it.
Oh yeah, no,
of course not.
Of course. So it's like, yeah, we're going to do these things. And then when push comes to shove, it'll be a company that's owned by some of our friends that could maybe not even exist yet, seeing that Christy Freeland has experience in investing in companies that don't exist.
Yeah.
So all these are great. Yeah, you're going to do so much. That's great. Everything on here I am kind of okay with. This is healthcare, which I think is kind of important.
Yep.
Our country does need healthcare. Mm-hmm. I just can't get down with the whole green thing right now. Like, to take care of the, why would we start investing in green when there are Canadians on the street? Like, let's get everyone in a home with food, and then we can like work to get better. Let's build a baseline.
Yeah, my whole thing with the Canada dental benefit is wild. Children under 12, which has already helped more than 240,000 children receive the dental care they need.
Do you think that's a good thing? I thought dental care was free if you were a kid anyway.
I could be wrong. I actually don't know.
Me either.
All I know is like, yeah, I understand on the surface it does help people. The problem I have with it is this, I believe, is relatively new. And it's just, again, we keep forking out money.
Oh, yeah. If anyone on the show has taken a message from us in the last 6 months, it's that we've been talking highly about inflation and inflationary spending. Yeah. This is inflationary spending. So every time you log into your CRA My account and there's a new benefit available to you, that is printed money. You are living on borrowed money, which needs to be paid back, or else the economy collapses. So we're forking out all these things. And yeah, like, of course, dental work is important. I certainly cannot deny that, but at what cost, right?
Actually, I'm really curious right now. Philip, could you just type in, say, like 2012 Canadian federal budget?
Well, that was under Harper.
Yeah, I want to get something that's not under Trudeau, just to get some context, because
right.
There's a point I want to make, and I want to make sure it's an accurate point.
Bruh, look how it used to look.
Yeah. Gee. All right, scroll on down, see if they give us the points here.
It's already way longer than the other one.
Yeah, it's very detailed.
It's already way more in depth.
So I'm curious. Let's just hit like chapter 4, so social programs. Okay, so we were talking some big money. $38 billion per year in benefits. Yeah, okay. Either way, so that makes sense. then I'm not as aggravated about it, but it just like there, as you said, there was a lot of bees in this past budget, a lot of billions, and I just didn't remember us talking so cavalierly about billions of dollars in the past.
Right. That is a great point. And I think there's two rebuttals to that, which is I think one, I don't think we did. I think 12 years ago, over $1 billion for anything in Canada was like a lot of money. Mm-hmm. I think, obviously don't quote me on that. I think the reason why it's so jarring to me right now is it just comes at a time where when people cannot afford $100 worth of groceries, seeing $8 billion go to green energy doesn't matter. That's a slap in the face because, okay, the person who doesn't have money for groceries, let's say they're super stoked that Canada's going green. They've got the green thumb. They're all in on green. They think it's the next best thing, regardless of anything we could say to rebuttal green energy. What does it matter if they can't afford a car, can't afford a home? What? I just don't understand. Like, it means nothing if people are homeless. At the end of the day, I think it means nothing until every single Canadian is in a home. Housing, healthcare should be number one. Number one. I understand there's certain programs that need to continue and need a minimum amount to keep it running. So drop every other line item to a minimum. That's not the top priority, which I think is housing and healthcare right now. Drop everything to a minimum, the minimal viable standard that will just keep it operating. No extra money. Put the rest right into what's important. Certainly don't be handing out bonuses and raises to MPs with Trudeau at the top getting, I think it was up to 15 some odd thousand, I think, or something like that. Like he got like double what the MPs get.
Oh, in terms of bonuses?
Yeah. He gets like double at the top. MPs, because every MP gets the same. It doesn't matter like what party you're in, just MPs get paid what MPs get. They don't need bonuses right now. This is the fourth bonus they've took since March 2020.
Isn't that nuts?
In the middle of COVID, when everyone's broke, housing's expensive, can't afford groceries, they've taken four raises. How can you continue to support that? I mean, it's like, it just seems like such an out of touch approach. It's really upsetting when, there's people who literally have nowhere to go. It's like, you're now making close to $200,000. Like Trudeau makes almost $400,000 a year.
That's on paper.
Right. He's also wealthy in his own personal life. You hate landlords so much, I bet he owns a fair amount of real estate.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was the thing that really, this is kind of like, the thing I did appreciate was this hour's 22 minutes with their whole thing with Trudeau.
Oh, that was very intense.
That was a very interesting video.
Yeah.
And that was the stuff that I really feel like we need right now as a country, believe it or not. When we can, so anyone who doesn't know what I'm referring to, this hour 20 minutes did a whole segment with Trudeau where Critch did a snowboard day with Trudeau, and Trudeau was teaching him how to snowboard.
Yep.
And Critch lit him up, made jokes about Fidel Castro, made jokes about his connections to China. And that's what I'm talking about, that's what we need as a country, is seeing someone just like throw egg on his face. Because that's a little bit of sanity people need right now, of like, everyone feels like he's untouchable. He can do no wrong. He can slip out of anything he wants. He has an incredible amount of allegations against him, proven allegations, ethics violations. He's the most corrupt prime minister we've ever had in our history. And he just keeps getting away with it. You can't keep getting away with this.
And that's the thing, is he won't. Like, everything will come to an end. I mean, it has to. But in the meantime, it's nice to see a member of the public, because I mean, sure, he's a celebrity on TV, but he's just, at the end of the day, another person. He's not in politics. Say all the things to his face that we all know to be true, and then throw it over like a joke. But when Trudeau goes home that night, he's going to say, oh, all that's on TV, and he just said that to me, and that means he knows who else. Like, and it was great. It was great to see. Yeah. It was really great to see.
It was good. I was considering it was a CBC production, I was very surprised.
That blew my mind when you said, look, you sent it to me, you said, this hour 22 minutes had Justin Trudeau on. And I thought, oh, yeah, here we go. They're going to peddle whatever. And then it got real. And I thought, how did this make it through the CBC editing room?
How did this make it through? How did the Liberals pass off on that?
Like,
I'm sure a part of it was like, well, he's really having a hard time right now in the polls, so maybe this will make him look more
human and approachable.
And it did to like his supporters, like, oh, this is awesome. They just took those things on the chin. He's so brave. And I'm like, whatever. But it's still good to see someone dunk on him a little bit.
Yeah.
It was definitely needed.
Oh, 100%.
So, but with that being the case, with inflationary spending, as you said, things are going through the roof, banks collapsing. Mm-hmm. We're still going to keep sending money out of the country. We're not really fully investing in our country.
Ridiculous.
As you said, people can't afford groceries. People can't afford to put gas in their car. Can't afford an electric car.
Can't afford rent.
Things are tough. And right now, if you are...
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
my God.
Oh, Philip coming in clutch.
In case you are broke, there's $500 on the table for you to pay a quarter of your rent in downtown Halifax for 1 month.
Wow, a tax-free payment of $500 to help low-income people who are struggling.
Thank God it's tax-free, man. The tax on the $500.
Is that like a one-time payment? Or is that a monthly payment?
It's one time, brother.
Oh, nice.
Just like a one-time. And you know what else is stupid? We're going to talk about this right now as well.
He's exposing them.
I filed my income taxes as one does. And
how'd that feel?
Never great, but I typically get a refund. And so I get the email about it being filed, let's look at it here. This is the automatic generated thing from the government. So it's it tells you like your breakdown of what you filed, what you got, any credits, things like that, right? Like the typical things you would expect. So talk about money like being handed out. Right now there is a if you can't afford groceries, there's a 2-time payment available that you can apply for. That's under $200 each. So in total, it's under $400 for the year to go and buy groceries, which is great. And on my tax return, it says I will receive a climate action incentive payment of $613.80 payable in 3 equal quarterly installments of $204.60 in 2023 and into 2024. So they're giving me money for some climate thing. That is again printed money. And there's a part of me where it's like, of course I want the money. Obviously, I want my fair share back from the government. But my taxes were already filed. I was already good. I didn't owe money, so I'm like, as long as I don't owe, I'm good. That's my only concern. You make the grocery benefit less than $400, but you're going to give me $600 for climate?
Yeah. That's in response to the carbon tax. That's the whole thing we talked about weeks ago.
Bruh.
When like, yeah, we're going to give it back to you. This is it.
So the only reason I got that then, I'm assuming, would be is because I have home office expenses on my income tax. That includes like heat and electricity and things like that. So is that the only reason that would be on there? Like, why else would I have got that?
They're looking to give it back to people who are, I'm trying to remember the specifics of the deal, but the whole goal was like, yeah, they'll tax you up front and then they'll redistribute it later, essentially was what was going to happen.
I feel like I got too much. I feel like that's not fair.
Yeah, $600
for what?
Yeah, it's because you're paying your property taxes, so you're getting taxed on climate. You have that climate thing there. Everything is a climate tax now, right? And so you're getting some of that money back is what's happening.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Stupid.
It's so stupid. You got a $500 rent top up and less than $400 grocery top up, and I got almost $700 for climate, which I shouldn't have been charged anyway. And so then they're going to invest $33 billion some odd dollars into green Canada to make sure I don't get $700 back a year. But they're going to spend $33 billion to make that happen. It's insane. And people still cannot afford to eat and pay the rent.
Yeah, I mean, when you have a bunch of kindergartners running the country, that's what you get, right? So
I couldn't believe that. I thought, what is this money for? It's like made up. It's like imaginary.
it is at this point.
I was like, great. And they're going to pay it, and they're not going to give it to me at once.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't know what to do with it all at once.
They're just getting us ready for the CBDCs, and that's how it works, right? So
You think? That's insane that you just said that, because that is likely the case, isn't it?
I don't think
Tax
so.
refunds. I bet that is such a dude. I bet 1 year we will file our taxes, and if you owe, they'll say
You're cleared.
you're clear to sign up for digital banking, or you get a refund. We'll double it if you sign up for CBDC. They're gonna shove out money to get people to sign up.
Oh, it's going to be a ridiculous incentive. I'm keeping an eye out for it.
Yikes! Yeah, I'll take it, but I won't put any other money in it.
I'll take what you give me, and that's
Yeah, I'll
about
take
it.
the free money and then I'll somehow convert it, because I'm assuming you can still be able to convert it, right? Or no? If no, then
Well, that's the thing is like those are the rules that they would put under CBDC is like they've already put in rules where you can't or make it really hard to buy Bitcoin. You know, and you saw even in Ontario they introduced legislation where it's like, all right, you can't buy any more than X amount of Bitcoin. You can't buy any more than X amount of XRP.
yeah,
This is where it's all going. Is eventually it's just like you just can't buy those things at all because we're protecting you. You know, those assets are crazy. It's a roller coaster ride. You're going to lose your money. Just kind of like what it's like to put your money in an American bank.
yeah. I'm like, yeah,
Same thing. But they don't want to talk about that. So
dude. That's why they want to delete TikTok, because the truth spreads like wildfire on an app like that.
I've been seeing a lot of people put that out there. I was like, oh, we'll see, I guess. I mean,
It's interesting. Like now more than ever, they're pushing to ban TikTok, et cetera, or at least they're talking about it's happening in the United States potentially. And I'm like, this is how we find out a lot of information, because if you go right now on TikTok, for example, this is one thing that I noticed. If you go on TikTok and search France, everything is about how the city's on fire, protests, it's bad there. And because they don't have to listen to the government. You go on Instagram and search France, and it's like beautiful dates, like nice things, hockey, soccer players, like all these people, no fire there.
right.
You know, so I want, like, does Instagram cohort with these people to say we won't show that when you search for France?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I know the big issue people have, and the reason why TikTok is under siege is because we've talked about it before, where they will feed our people just very inflammatory stuff, and it just makes us dumber, gets us fighting each other.
Yes.
It is kind of being used as a weapon to like supersede the West,
Right.
In some regard.
Yeah.
And so I understand why they're trying to go after it. It's just the people that are trying to go after it. I wonder about their intentions, right?
Right.
But I do personally see it as a net positive to probably bring TikTok down.
Oh, me too. I've outright said I think TikTok does more bad than good.
Yeah.
But I guess I should be clear in my statement in that I'm now questioning the why. Where 3 months ago I would have said, well, it's because they think it's infiltrating the West. But now I'm thinking, oh, maybe it's because too much gets out too quick on TikTok. Oh, yeah, I saw this. Permanently eliminating interest on Canadian student loans and ensuring borrowers don't need to make payments on their loans until they earn at least $40,000 per year. And that's only on federal loans, of course. As a federal budget, you still owe interest on provincial loans because you get both.
Yeah.
And this is the last line: fighting climate change while making life more affordable with a federal price on pollution that puts more money back in the pockets of 8 out of every 10 Canadians in the provinces where it applies. What does that even mean?
Communism.
Like, what's that even mean, dog? What the heck? What does that even mean? There's like,
It's just so vague and so annoying.
what do you mean put a price on pollution? So if I drive my car too much, is that what that means?
Yeah. 100%.
Brother.
And they're putting money back in your pocket.
So they're going to take it from my pocket to put it back in my pocket?
That's how it works.
But it won't go into my pocket if I continue to drive a gas car at some point, right?
At some
That'll
point,
be the gag.
at some point, they'll take it away from you.
Right.
That's how it works. They'll keep the taxes on. Kind of like how, for goodness, this is a local issue, but it ticked me off anyways. How
Well, let's talk about it.
They're bringing paid parking on Saturdays downtown Halifax now. It's official. It passed. And the argument, I understand to a degree the argument. I still think it's stupid because they're using it as a scapegoat. There's like, it's going to encourage more business to come down to small businesses in downtown Halifax because it encourages turnover on the parking spaces.
Not me. I'll just take the ticket, dog.
And I'm like, bro, you just want more money coming in. All the areas that our governments just continue to steal from us. It's beyond annoying and frustrating. You take money off my income. You tax me on any goods I want. You tax me for the property I live on. You tax me for driving my car. Anything they can get their hands on, they'll tax. They'll throw a tax on, or not. They'll charge you for parking downtown. They'll, like, any way that these governments can find money, they'll nickel and dime you until they get it from you.
Oh yeah, and we've got Halifax, which there's Halifax proper, but HRM goes all the way to Enfield. So do you say to those people who maybe have a bunch of errands to run in downtown Halifax, what? Go to Bears Lake where it's free to park, or just don't come to downtown Halifax because you have to pay to park? Like, what if they can't afford to pay to park and they have to go to the passport office, God forbid, and wait 13 and a half hours to meet someone who hates their life and is the rudest person they could have found to sit behind that desk and stamp papers all day?
I mean, is the passport office even open on weekends?
I think you can get rush appointments. Isn't that a thing now because of how backlogged they are?
No idea.
But even still, let's talk about the passport office. Let's talk about that right now, man, because how is it still that there's such a backlog of passports? They just reopened Nexus cards for the first time since COVID. They're doing that now. Like, where does all this money go? Where do all our taxes go? It goes to green energy. Like, we're spending billions of dollars on this, but not to hire more agents so that people working at the office aren't so run down that they're like miserable shells of the humans they once were before they were like overtaken by the swarm of people trying to get a passport. I had a family member go to get a passport, and there used to be like 8 desks, like 8 kiosks, like you're at a bank, and there was 3 people working.
Brutal.
So what? Want to hire 5 more? What? Like, why?
Apparently, because money's not real. So
yeah,
and that's where it comes down to, like, the point I'm making. Like, if money isn't real, we're just printing it out of nowhere, so we can send it to random places in the world, and then give out random handouts. Why am I paying taxes?
Yeah, why not just print a bunch to make everyone in Canada good then?
Yeah, like, apparently you don't need my money, so
you just make your own.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, why are there still homeless people?
Yeah.
Why is there? Yeah, why?
You can just print money.
Just print money and give it to them.
Yeah, easy.
Pay for the social services.
Yeah.
Why not?
Cover them.
Make them free. What's the big deal? If it's right. So it's like, if money can be created and sent to Ukraine like that, why can't it stay in the country that quick? Why can it only be so generated so quickly when it's going overseas?
Yeah.
What the heck?
Gee.
It makes no sense.
Oh, it's almost like they care about inflation to some degree, almost. Oh, man, just print more money.
Just print more. Yeah, man.
That's how it works. That's what Jake
Total
said.
federal aid available to full-time student based on financial. Look at 2020. Gee.
Yep. So it all comes back to our next point here is the U.S. dollar is absolutely tanking, along with the Canadian dollar for good measure.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yep.
Why is this? Like, the nice part is those who have been diversifying, getting out of the old system, you're looking nice right now. Bitcoin's going up.
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin's going nice up. XRP popped.
Mm-hmm.
It was at 50 cents for the longest time. Popped to 72 cents.
Mm.
I'll be liking that.
Mm-hmm.
Crypto's looking good. It's only because, and the question that people ask is like, okay, is Bitcoin all of a sudden becoming more valuable and people seeing the value in it? Or is the dollar just doing that bad and tanking?
It's almost like Bitcoin shorted the dollar.
Yeah. It's kind of what that's literally what I did.
Yeah.
I took money out. I took a loan against, I shorted the dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I took a bunch of money out on a line of credit and put it in Bitcoin. And it's looking nice right now.
Yeah. Your investment does well when the thing you took it out against does bad.
Exactly.
Incredible.
We're here for it.
That's called an individual win, which we have come to not reward. It's like, you got to get yours, man. The government's not going to give it to you.
Nope. And it's like, will it ever become a realized gain? It only becomes a realized gain when you cash back into the game.
Right.
I'm not planning to do that anytime soon.
And it could only go up.
At this point, it's only going to go up. So this all comes as part of the reason why the U.S. dollars are declining is because the next story here with China and France landing an LNG gas deal.
Oh, yes.
China completes LNG gas trade with Chinese yuan, ending U.S. dollar reliance for energy trades. Oh, baby.
Gee.
That's the first Western country to lock in with China.
They literally, yeah. And France. Interesting.
Macron's dying out there. He's getting
Interesting. Yeah.
He's everything's getting lit up. He's like, well, I got to get some type of win out here.
Dude, the police backed down and stood with protesters.
Did
the
they?
police and firefighters stood with protesters. So it's like, now what? What do you do now?
Yeah. Where are you gonna run?
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, and what is a landmark development? China and France have completed an LNG gas trade using the Chinese yuan, thus ending the reliance on the U.S. dollar for energy trades. Moreover, Reuters reported that the transaction involving 65,000 tons of LNG from the UAE marked the first yuan-settled LNG trade through the Shanghai Petroleum and Natural Gas Exchange. They're coming for our lunch money, man.
That is crazy. So that was the first oil transaction settled in yuan.
Yeah.
Jeez. So this is, it's important for a few reasons, but mainly for the for observable past, the U.S. dollar was the oil reserve currency of that's what it was. It was traded and settled in USD. This is huge. Yeah. This is crippling to the U.S. dollar, which should spark a Canadian's mind and go, that means something for us too. Our dollar is highly reflective of the U.S. dollar. That's not good. That's really not good.
Yeah, it's starting to remind me of an interview we did in our early days on the show with Lance Morlock.
Okay.
And he did wrote a book called Disaster Proof. Mm-hmm. And he talked about how in 2028, China will overtake the U.S. and become the number one superpower in the world.
Yes.
I think we're on track for that happening.
Yeah, getting control of the settlement currency for oil is pretty much the one and only step.
Especially when, the West is saying that they're like getting rid of oil and they're moving to more green energies that clearly aren't going to do the same type of work. But these guys are now moving towards oil, and they're like, okay, if you guys are going to leave the oil alone, we'll just take all the oil.
Yep.
And China and the East will be the number one.
Yep.
And it's because our countries are run by absolute morons. Shout out Derek Fisher.
Dude.
Just kidding, Darren Fisher.
To your point about countries being run by morons, man. Did you see the result of all the farmers in, I think it's Poland, right? Is that where they were all striking? All the
Netherlands.
I'm sorry. They formed their own government party.
Wow.
And they won.
Pull this up. What?
They won. Google Netherlands farmers government. Yep, there it is.
Dutch Farmers Protest Party scores big election win, shaking up Senate. Wow. A farmers' protest party shook up the political landscape in the Netherlands on Wednesday, emerging as the big winner in provincial elections that determine the makeup of the Senate. Mm-hmm. The BBB, or Boerburger, I'm not going to pronounce that, party rode a wave of protest against the government's environmental policies and looked set to have won more Senate seats than Prime Minister Mark Rutte's conservative BVD party.
And they did.
Good for them. Fight the power. A first exit poll projected BBB won 15 of a total of 75 seats in the Senate, which has the power to block legislation agreed in the lower house of Parliament, with the VVD dropping from 12 to 10 seats. Good for
this
them.
meteoric rise of BBB is a major blow for Rutte's governing coalition.
Gee.
Yeah. So the people of the Netherlands can do what we cannot. They came together. They said this is wrong. They formed a governmental party, and they won.
And this is the one thing, is their government was not successful in doing this.
Mm-hmm.
They tried, but they weren't successful. Trudeau did a good job of this with the convoy.
The smear campaign.
Yeah, convoy. Like he murdered the convoy with the smear campaign.
Yep.
Clearly, the Netherlands government wasn't as successful.
Or the people there are not easily as
Swayed.
Yeah, impressionable.
Yeah, and I would say, I'll be honest, we as a Canadian people are a conquered people, and we don't even realize it. We will just be okay with getting smacked in the face over and over again. Like, oh yeah, well, okay.
That's the way it is here.
Yeah, it's just
Not for them.
no. It just amazes me the people that are just willing to take it.
Yeah.
And when are we gonna stand up, right? People are still too afraid to talk in public about these things.
Mm.
And I'll call people who listen to our show right now, who love that we talk about these things, but they won't talk about it themselves with their people because they're afraid how they're gonna be perceived.
Yeah.
You're not gonna have a country with the values you value very soon if you keep that up. Stop being a coward and start talking about these things. And who cares how you're viewed? The game is on, and your country's on the line. Your way of life is on the line.
Told them, brother. Told it straight.
Text me off. So stop sending me messages in private. I'll tell you that much. I'll say that much. Stop sending me messages in private saying how you're so glad we're talking about X, Y, and Z things, but you aren't willing to do it yourself. I'm done. Like, it just ticks me off reading them, and it annoys me.
Gee,
Don't waste my time.
you told it. You told it, man.
Yeah. So, anyways.
But true, I get it. I get what you're saying, man. And it's the thing, like, you know, we come on here, we do this, we bring issues to light. We obviously talk about what we believe in as well. Sometimes it's on one side, sometimes it's on the other. But ultimately, the end of the day is no one pays my bills, boy. So I got to think for myself and my family, and I got to think, you know, what's right for us. And, you know, we're allowed to exist in a world where we have differences in opinions. You know, we absolutely have to exist in a world where we have difference of opinions. Yeah. I think it's vital. You can still share a drink with that person. You can still have a meal with them. Learn from them, ask them. You don't have to agree with them. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to condemn them either.
Yeah. So
it's hard though. I get it. It can be hard. I understand. Like what we do on this show, I think we still look at it as this fun thing we do, but I think there are a group of people who go, wow, I could never do that. And I don't look at it that way because to me, I've always kind of had a big mouth anyway. So I'm just like, this is great. I can just talk all night.
Well, that's the thing I find interesting about the show in general is we started the show just wanting to talk about business, just talking about things that we are passionate about, we enjoy. And it slowly kind of evolved into talking more about more serious political things.
Yeah, mainly because the politics get in the way of my business.
And that's my point, is we never wanted to be in this battle in the first place. We never wanted to talk about these things.
Yeah.
This wasn't our game.
Yeah.
We avoided it like the plague.
Yeah.
But it kept getting worse.
Yeah.
And we needed to start talking about it and calling it out. Like it was, for me,
well, yeah.
my trigger moment for me was the vax mandates. When that came down, that was the first time we ever spoke about something publicly that was really controversial.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
And I was like, this can't happen.
Well, I mean, you know, pretty much everything you and I do is, I would say, for the most part, with conviction. And we are also comfortable talking about things that are sometimes hard to talk about. So I think it's a good use, you know, of people's time and our time to talk about things that matter to us because there's someone out there who wants to hear it.
Yeah.
And, you know, other people who maybe don't talk about it from their point of view, I wish they would because maybe they have an insight that I've never thought of. Maybe they're looking at it through a different lens. You know, maybe they're older than me or maybe they have different lived experiences. Maybe they're not from here but have moved here, but still, I want to know these things. I think the more information I have on a topic, the more sound of an opinion I can have. So to me, I love it. I want to hear. If everyone had a podcast, I would be like, that's sick. That's great. I can hear everyone's opinion. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Is it awesome?
I mean, to me.
That's social media. Everyone's got an opinion.
Here's the thing. So, like, for example, I was talking about how if you post a rental listing here, and you don't turn off the comments, like you can get, like people will go so far as to like put death threats on there, which is crazy. But people do comment and they express their hatred and disliking of landlords and things like that. And of course, me on the other end, I go, oh, that is a little hurtful, but I get it. You have every right to, you have every right. And that I think is the beauty of free speech. You can absolutely, you should be able to say, I don't like that. I don't like you. I don't like what you stand for. That's fine. It's when they go so far to like threat violence and like, okay, that's too far. But when people are just having normal dialogue, being like, this is too much. That's not right. This is illegal. That's a good use. You're pointing out things that are wrong. That's good.
Yeah, exactly. And sure, yeah, like obviously it was a little heated there. Obviously do it is best for you and what you can do. But like, things are coming to our doorstep that things I never thought I would see in my lifetime.
Yeah.
We're having conversations about things that I never thought we would have to have conversations about.
Yeah.
But that was my thing with like, I did find this interesting. It's an interesting stat when it came to the Civil War in the States.
Mm-hmm.
I think at the time, only 15% of the population supported the war. Supported fighting back against the South.
Right.
I think it was something like 15%.
Oh.
It doesn't take much. Clearly the convoy proved that.
Yeah.
Like we don't need to have an overwhelming majority.
Yeah, you just need enough, because there's like a middle group of people who just don't care.
Yeah.
But there's people in my life I know who they are so unbothered on either end of the spectrum. They just don't. They're doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think it's there. I think on both ends there's a group of people who are going back and forth kind of thing. But there is something, a little like especially in the capacity that we share our opinions. It's like everyone knows, like how I feel is out there. We started the show during the pandemic where it's like we weren't really seeing friends anyway. And then you just realize, like I've done this and I realized, oh, there's people I haven't heard from, and that's fine. You just kind of realize that and you think, well, that's okay too. But that is part, I think, of sharing opinions, right? It's like, not everyone's going to like them.
Yeah.
But if they're your opinions, you are allowed to have them. You just have to be okay with the consequences too.
Totally.
And for some people, the consequences are too severe, and
yeah,
that's individual. You have to do your own individual analysis.
Yeah, and I mean, and don't get me wrong, I have been encouraged by people who have come up to me in public or have messaged me directly to like, share that they're happy with what we're doing. I get it.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, it does encourage me, but I think, yeah, like obviously in a moment of weakness, I'm just frustrated by the lack of people that who will complain in private about these things, but really won't do anything about it because they're worried about the repercussions or perceived repercussions of it.
Yeah, it's true. And it is true. Like all the run-ins I've had with fans of the show and like in person, everyone's like, I love you guys, love you talking about. That's awesome. It's great. Like you guys are sick. And then they'll always say that. And then there's other times I'll run into people. There's a bagel shop where there are employees who work there and they noticed me, and that's all they said. But then, and I don't know what happened after this, but all I could see was after they noticed me was them talking, looking back at me, snickering, looking at me. And so I thought, well, that's kind of weird. Like maybe they just don't like me, but it just, that can happen, right? They don't have to like my opinion, and then they don't like me. And that is what it is, right? It's okay.
Part of the game.
But yeah, it is okay. But that does come. There's a cost to being, open with the people in your life about your opinions.
Yeah. And that's where I'm at personally, is I genuinely don't care about the people that don't like me for the sake of an opinion that I know isn't life or death.
Right. Yeah, we're not debating. We're for the most part, you and I are debating financial issues.
Yeah.
The majority of what we talk about on the show is about financial issues because, like we said, the reason we talked about politics is it stemmed from the interference in business.
Yeah.
So mainly the stuff we're talking about today, budget, US dollar, won, is all about money. And really that's what Trudeau's biggest concern right now is money. So it's a money-driven world. And there was a time, when when my grandmother came to the country where you were rewarded for hard work, you were rewarded for being an entrepreneur, you were rewarded for paying your dues and building a life. And now we're seeing a time where you can sort of exist by not working and getting government grants, subsidy, handouts, whatever you want to call it. But it's interesting because it's not what I've been taught by, my elders and my mentors and people that I respect. That's not the mentality of those people. So to me, I look at that and I go, that's weird. But I have to remember on the other side, there's people who go, you're weird. Hustle culture's stupid. You're stupid for working so hard. All these, right? So there's people on both sides.
Totally.
I lose sight of that sometimes.
Yeah. So I think just kind of move on just to make sure we get back on to the tangent, get back on tangent.
Yeah. Get off that tangent, onto the other tangent.
Yeah, exactly. Was again, the issue with the France-China deal is this next article. Is U.S. general's gut feeling of war with China sparks alarm over predictions. Even the military in the U.S. know that a conflict with China is impending. A leaked memo from a U.S. four-star general saying his gut told him the U.S. would be at war with China by 2025 has prompted warnings about the danger of undisciplined predictions of a Taiwan Strait conflict.
Yikes. Yikes. What will a U.S.-China war look like? Will that be fought on American soil or Chinese soil? Or will it be fought like...
Apparently Taiwan Strait.
Oh, yeah, on Taiwan Strait conflict, yeah.
Apparently.
Oh.
And I'd be curious too. The problem is military's screwed, or the U.S. is screwed, because you're going to end up fighting both Russia and China on both sides of you. Well, who's gonna help you? Europe?
I know.
Macron can't even handle his own people. Europe.
I know.
Give me a break. Who's going to help you? Trudeau and his fancy socks? Yeah, okay. He's only giving $1 million to his freaking military. Get out of my face.
Is that how much was in the budget?
I'm exaggerating, but it's really, really tiny amounts going to our military, but a bunch is going to Ukraine. Give me a break.
It's so weird.
Who's going to help the U.S.? I know they got a big budget for military. I know they do. But you're on the brink of a civil war in your country. You can't get people on the same page. You're fighting issues about trans issues, fighting issues about pride issues, fighting issues about racial issues. No one can get on the same page about anything. Like, the society's been divided up into 25 million different pieces where no one can agree on anything.
Where President Xi's got one goal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's coming to take you out.
Yeah.
Foreign Affairs. Xi Jinping says he's preparing China for war. Straight up, March 29th, 2023.
So, there's the confirmation.
Yeah. They're coming.
From the source.
They're coming. Xi Jinping says he's preparing for war at the annual meeting of China's parliament and its top political advisory body in March. Xi wove the theme of war readiness through 4 separate speeches, in one instance telling his generals to dare to fight. His government also announced 7.2% increase in China's defense budget, which has doubled over the last decade, as well as plans to make the country less dependent on foreign grain imports. And in recent months, Beijing has unveiled new military readiness laws, new air raid shelters in cities across the strait from Taiwan, and new national defense mobilization offices countrywide.
So they're preparing. They're getting ready.
Game on.
It's hard to not take him serious when it's literally him being the president of China saying it's going to happen.
It's on like Donkey Kong, baby.
It's hard to not take him seriously.
Exactly. And with that happening, we'll end off with this one TikTok video just to give you an idea what's coming.
Oh, I love it.
What I'm about to show you is arguably the biggest story in the world right now, in my opinion, but it's being totally ignored by the mainstream media. So the United States just announced it's getting ready for a war with China and Putin at the same time for a very important reason. Chinese President Xi Jinping and Russian President Vladimir Putin are about to completely alter the international power structure and the monetary system. This is why they're getting ready for war. No other reason. The biggest story in the world happened this week in Moscow, and your mainstream media ignored it. This week, Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin signed 14 different documents in their face-to-face meeting. The biggest had to do with trade and currency. It's perhaps the biggest story in the world right now, but again, the U.S. media was obsessed with something else.
He could be days away from becoming the first former president to be indicted.
Donald Trump is under multiple criminal inquiries.
The media wants you distracted from the U.S. banking crisis and the decline of the U.S. dollar. Saudi Arabia and Iran, Sunni and Shiite Muslim, are sworn enemies. They hate each other. And yet China just brokered a peace deal between them. Yes, China did that, not the United States. And then this week, Saudi Arabia openly talking about settling their oil trades in the Chinese currency yuan. This would replace the U.S. dollar. They would replace the petrodollar, the U.S. dollar that we use as a hammer to sanction any country we like. If the U.S. doesn't like you and wants to sanction you, they can, because if you want oil, you'll need to pay with the U.S. dollar to settle that transaction. Imagine if the U.S. can't threaten you with dollars anymore. All they have left are weapons, and there's nothing more dangerous than a person losing power.
Yikes. Yikes.
It's going to get ugly, man. Like, it's here. Like it's here.
Yeah, man.
Like on so many different fronts, it's here. It's crazy. World War, Civil War. It's just government come after its people. It's all coming.
Someone said I miss COVID at this point. True. I remember I miss all the TikTok dances from March. It's so easy then, man. Oh my gosh. As a Canadian, I wish we could just Australia ourselves and be a floating lonely island. How should I invest my $23?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, here we are as Canadians.
It's a rough climate. It's easy to say stay strong, but you know, for some people this isn't an issue, right? So for those people, they're like, well, what do I have to stay strong from? And for the people who is, you know, being eaten up by this, you're not crazy, you know, it's happening. We get it. You know, but unless you are in the military and have to go fight, you cannot get yourself too bent out of shape over this stuff because it's gonna happen. You're not the one to stop it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
We're not the ones to stop it. So I think it's important that we talk about it, but you know, you'll die trying to fight this war. So it's like you just kind of gotta keep the faith at this point, man.
Yeah. Stay close to the people you love. Continue to just be a good person.
Yeah, do right.
You know, do what's right by people you know, that you feel right by.
Yeah.
And just try to axe all the negativity out of your life as best you can in terms of people bringing that type of energy to your life. And if that's us,
that's fine.
Then axe us out.
Yeah, 100%, man. Because it's wildly freeing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to align your life completely with what you agree with, in terms of what you let into your mental. You have to. Not to say you shouldn't hear other people's opinions, but you cannot surround yourself by things that go against your beliefs every day.
Yeah,
you just can't. And if that's us, that's okay. Yeah. If we're not for you, that's only human.
Exactly. Be human. So be sure to, if you are deciding not to access out of your life, be sure to join us Thursday. We got another spicy one planned because there's a lot coming down the pipe.
Yeah, if you hate us, we won't see you Thursday.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the last time we hear from you. Yeah. It was nice knowing you. It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
And but those who are sticking around, we will see you Thursday. And so thank you all for what you're doing. Continue to like and subscribe here on YouTube. Please help the homies out.
Yeah.
We're out here just trying to make a living.
We're just trying to spread the news, man.
Yeah.
Don't hate us for it.
Exactly. So whatever it is you're doing, whether you be flying to China,
or releasing budgets,
or buying some Bitcoin,
whatever
it is you're doing,
wherever you are,
we love you.
We're out.
Peace.